A young, poor 25-year-old woman named Anna was rushing to a job interview. She had only one nice gown, an old cream dress her mother gave her before she died. It was neatly ironed. Her hair was packed, and her worn shoes were polished the best way she could. That morning, Anna had begged her neighbor to borrow transport money. "Please, I promise to return it when I get the job," she said, her eyes full of hope. The neighbor looked at her for a while and said, "Okay, Anna, I pray it works out for you." He gave her just enough for the bus. Anna ran to the bus stop. Time was not on her side. Suddenly, as she was about to cross the road near a gutter, a black car zoomed past. Splash! Mud flew everywhere. Anna froze. She looked down. Her gown was stained. Her shoes were soaked. Her face was covered with spots of brown mud. People turned to look at her. Some shook their heads. Others laughed and walked away. Tears filled Anna's eyes, but she didn't cry. "I must go," she whispered. "This job is my last hope." She rushed to a small shop nearby and begged the woman there, "Please, do you have water? I need to clean myself. I'm going for an interview." The woman gave her a bowl of water and a towel. Anna washed her face. She couldn't remove all the mud from her gown, but she tried. The towel turned brown. Her hands were shaking. When she reached the tall company building, everyone stared at her. The security man stopped her at the gate. "Madam, who are you looking for?" he asked, eyeing her dirty dress. "I have an interview," she said. The man laughed. "Looking like this? You think this is a market?" "I was splashed with mud on my way here," Anna explained softly. The man sighed and called the HR department. "One mad girl is here for the interview," he said. They asked him to let her in. Anna walked into the large office, her head held high but her eyes full of shame. People were seated in the waiting room, dressed in nice suits and heels. They looked at her with disgust. Some even laughed quietly. "Is she lost?" one girl whispered. Anna sat in a corner, her heart beating fast. After a while, a man came out. He was tall, wearing a clean blue suit. He looked rich and powerful. He was Mr. David, the CEO. He glanced around at everyone. Then his eyes landed on Anna. He paused. He looked at her from head to toe. Everyone held their breath. Mr. David, the CEO, looked straight at Anna. The whole room was silent. He slowly walked toward her. Everyone turned, confused. Some laughed quietly. "Maybe he wants to send her away," someone whispered. But Mr. David didn't yell. He didn't mock her. He stood in front of her and asked gently, "What's your name?" Anna looked up, her voice shaking. "My name is Anna, sir." He nodded. "Stand up." She stood up slowly, nervous. She could feel the eyes of all the other applicants burning into her. Mr. David looked around the room and said loudly, "Do you all know something? This girl right here showed me something many of you will never understand. Bravery." People looked at each other, shocked. "She came here dirty, not because she's careless," Mr. David continued, "but because life threw mud at her, and yet she still came." He turned to Anna again and said, "Follow me." Anna followed him quietly, not knowing what was going to happen. They entered the elevator. She stared at the floor, embarrassed. He looked at her and said calmly, "Tell me what happened." Tears finally rolled down Anna's cheeks. "I was on my way, sir. A car passed and splashed mud on me. I tried to clean it, but—" He handed her a tissue. "And yet you still came?" She nodded. When they got to the top floor, his personal office, he gave her a seat and called his assistant. "Get me the interview file for Anna," he said. The assistant blinked. "Sir, she hasn't even been interviewed yet." Mr. David smiled. "I'll handle it myself." Anna was confused. You're the CEO?" He nodded. "Yes, and I want to hear your story." So Anna told him everything. How she lost her parents. How she struggled through school. How she borrowed money for transport this morning. How she had no fancy clothes, but still wanted to do her best. She didn't lie. She didn't pretend. She spoke from her heart. Mr. David listened without interrupting. When she finished, he leaned back and said, "Anna, you remind me of my mother." She looked up, surprised. She was also poor, struggled to raise me alone. She worked as a cleaner, and people used to laugh at her, but she never stopped fighting. You have that same fire. Anna sniffed and wiped her tears. "Thank you, sir." He stood up, walked to his desk, and picked up a file. "You're hired," he said. Anna gasped. "But I didn't even take the interview." "You don't need to," he said. "You've already shown me something no paper or degree can prove. Strength, courage, and heart." Anna broke down in tears. She fell on her knees. "Thank you, sir. Thank you." He helped her up. "Start tomorrow, and I'll have someone take you home today. You need to rest." Anna nodded, speechless, but that was just the beginning. Something unexpected was about to happen in Anna's life that would change everything. The next morning, Anna arrived at the company early. She wore a simple, clean gown and packed her hair neatly. She still didn't have expensive clothes, but her heart was full of hope. Everyone stared as she walked in. Some of the workers she saw yesterday at the interview were shocked. "Wait, what's she doing here?" one of them whispered. "Maybe she came to beg," another said. But then Mr. David's personal assistant came downstairs and smiled at Anna. "Good morning, Miss Anna. Please follow me to your office." The whole room went silent. "Office?" Anna followed the assistant, her heart beating fast. They entered a small but beautiful office with a computer, a clean desk, and a window that showed the city view. "This is your office," the assistant said. "You're Mr. David's personal staff now. He said you'll be trained for a bigger role soon." Anna's mouth opened. "This is for me?" "Yes. And this file here is your orientation package. You'll also receive some new clothes later this week," Mr. David said, "to make sure you are comfortable." Anna sat down slowly. For the first time in years, she felt like she belonged somewhere, but not everyone was happy. Downstairs in the lunchroom, the other workers were talking. One woman named Sandra, who had been at the company for 2 years, frowned. "Can you imagine that dirty girl from yesterday? Mr. David gave her an office," she said, slamming her spoon on the table. Another worker, Boma, laughed bitterly. "Life is not fair, oh. I've worked here for years, yet I'm still in that hot corner beside the toilet. That girl just came yesterday and already has a view," Sandra hissed. "There's something fishy. How can a CEO just like that girl like that?" Boma nodded. "Maybe she's pretending to be poor. Or maybe—" They looked at each other and whispered, "Maybe she's using charm." That afternoon, Anna came to the lunchroom to get a bottle of water. Everyone went quiet when she walked in. She greeted politely, "Good afternoon," and picked her water. Sandra forced a fake smile. "You're enjoying, oh, Anna. CEO is really taking care of you." Anna smiled gently. "I'm just thankful for the opportunity." As she walked out, Sandra muttered, "Let's see how long she lasts." But Anna wasn't even thinking of them. Her mind was focused on working hard and making her late mother proud. Later that day, Mr. David called her into his office. "I heard some people are gossiping," he said. "Are you okay?" Anna nodded. "Yes, sir. I'm used to being looked down on. I just want to work hard. Mr. David smiled. Good, because this is only the beginning. I have plans for you. Anna looked confused. Plans? Yes, I don't want to say too much yet, but you remind me of something I lost a long time ago. Anna stared at him, unsure of what he meant. But one thing was sure. Jealous eyes were watching her closely, and someone was already planning something that could ruin everything. Days passed. Anna focused on her work. She arrived early, left late, and took every task seriously. She learned fast, respected everyone, and never allowed pride enter her heart. Even though the CEO now greeted her personally and often called her into his office for discussions, but in the background, Sandra and Boma were still bitter. This girl is pretending, Sandra said one day. I will expose her. She's too calm, Boma added. Something is not right. Let's dig and destroy her before she becomes bigger than us. So they started watching Anna, asking questions behind her back, even following her one evening. But all they saw was a poor girl returning to a small, quiet house in a humble neighborhood. They didn't find any secret, but Sandra didn't stop. One morning, she boldly walked into Mr. David's office. Sir, she said, standing tall, I think you should know something. Mr. David looked up. What is it? It's about Anna. We think maybe she's using charm. Everyone is talking. You gave her too much too quickly. Mr. David frowned. Is that what you came here to say? Yes, sir, she said proudly. He nodded slowly, then pressed a button. Anna, come to my office, please. A few minutes later, Anna walked in. Good morning, sir. Mr. David looked at her kindly. Please sit. He turned to Sandra. You say she's using charm? Yes, sir. I mean, we don't understand how. He raised his hand. Enough. He stood up and looked out the window. Many years ago, my mother was mocked for being poor. She worked as a cleaner in a bank and raised me alone. One day, a rich man gave her a chance. He helped her start a small shop. From that shop, she paid my school fees. That man changed our life. He turned to Sandra. Anna reminds me of my mother. The courage, the pain, the hunger to survive. He looked at Anna. You don't owe anyone an explanation, but I owe you something. Anna looked confused. Sir? Mr. David opened a drawer and brought out an envelope. You are now the head of my foundation for young women. You will train, employ, and guide girls like you who are struggling. And this is the key to a new apartment, fully paid for. Anna's mouth fell open. Sir, I don't know what to say. Say yes, he smiled. Tears filled Anna's eyes. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sandra stood, speechless. Mr. David turned to her. And for you, Sandra, I think you need some time to reflect. Take a break, a long one. Sandra's mouth shook. Are you suspending me? He nodded, indefinitely. That evening, Anna walked out of the building holding her new keys, her letter of promotion, and her heart full of joy. From a girl covered in mud to a leader lifting others up. She looked at the sky, smiled, and whispered, Mama, I made it. The end. Thanks for watching. PLs, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting stories.